Hey Carl, no game this weekend, but it's been a busy few days, isn't it, in the transfer window?
Yeah, I think if there was a game, I don't think we would have any time to sort of get my head around it. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise some way, especially the last 24 hours have been quite remarkable. I think since the window's opened, obviously bringing Jay in was one to really bolster the squad, especially on that side. I thought we'd lack just to support pace in certain areas. And then obviously yesterday losing Addy was a big blow, I think, to everybody at the football club. But let's be honest, it wasn't a blow that nobody was expecting. It was, I think, everybody in the football world or every planet in the universe knew that he wasn't far off going. So it was, and to go to a Premier League club and the way he conducted himself leading up to it was impeccable. And he goes with our blessings, obviously. But then when you know of these news, it's then to start thinking where we move forward from there. 24 hours later, then Foxy obviously moved to Sheffield Wednesday. We always knew it was a deal that possibly was going to be done in the summer. So we always knew that possibility was going to be there. We had 3 left backs lined up to bring in, and we went for probably the most exciting one out of them all in some ways in Lewis. Lewis is somebody, I think anybody who knows him or anyone will look at his time at West Ham and even this year having his first loan. I think it's important he's had a loan, and this is now his second loan. But in the Europa League games he was very effective. The one he played at Upton Park, he was outstanding. I think it was 2 years ago, 18 months ago now. He was very, very good, and he's been on the recruitment team's list for a while. And when the opportunity arose to do it immediately, it was important to do a quick deal. I think it was important that our fans seeing some sort of stand up and be counted in some ways, that we weren't just going to lie back and let a player go and nothing happened. We were right on the front foot, very productive in how we did it. I'm really excited by watching the young man play. When you look in that area now, the energy and the quality of chicks, now Lewis is the two of them have got so much energy and so much offensive threat, and people who know of Lewis will know that his delivery and his crossing abilities is very, very good. So it was an important one for us, I think, to keep moving forward. Is he the finished article? I can honestly say to the fans now, he's nowhere near the finished article, but he will be. And there's so much more growth in Lewis, so much more development. And if any football club where the fans understand youth players or young players, this is certainly the place to bring them, because they've seen so many great young players come through here. Okay, he's not from our academy, but still, I did look at our academy to see what they had in that left back area before I brought in a young one. It wasn't that was overlooked, and we felt that there wasn't anybody that could make an impact immediately. So that's why we went out and did the deal. But he'll certainly grow, especially with these fans who understand what it's like to bring through young players. I'm excited to work with him. Tremendous CV in relation to the people who testified for him, and that helped that me manage your players who have played with him.
And clearly the squad is beginning to look very different already, isn't it, in the first week of the transfer window. Part of that, which I guess maybe you've forgotten about, is Tony Watt coming back in the building today. And true to your words, you've been running him hard already on day one.
I think sometimes when you speak about young players, and when you speak about any player, that they have to have a discipline to them, and they have to. I think Tony is misunderstood. I really do. I think I was speaking to him today. There was a spring in his step. He wanted to be at Charlton Athletic, so I didn't need to run him after that, because he wanted to be here. And people don't want to be here. It's got a relevance on me, because he can move on. And by the way, not wanting to be here is not always a negative thing. There could be a positive thing as well. But Tony wants to be here. He wants to be a part of the club. He wants to be part of the success this year. And he was saying that to me. He was excited. He wanted to get a flat immediately. He wanted to do this immediately. He wants to settle down immediately. And when I said to him that I won't be making many changes for the game against Millwall, he said, well, if I would have played, it would have been 6. So I like that confidence. I like that. I like the fact that he feels he can come here and be the best player. And I seen Ricky Holmes running today. I seen Declan Rudd completing a training session today. I seen Tony Watt working today. I seen Jake Forster-Caskey working today. Now I would say all them 4 players would get in probably every team in the league. Now, we've not had these players at all. After back of the performance against Bristol Rovers, there was a bit of an air of excitement, I think, about what we can do. People seeing what we're trying to do. It wasn't a case of that's the finished article. People could see the style and the way we wanted to do things, and I think then all of a sudden you do Lewis, you do Jake, you bring Tony back, and then all of a sudden the best signs are probably the ones who have been injured. A lot of people who have been in this football club for a while, I think now see themselves they've got to fight to stay in the team, and that to me is the best place to be as a manager.
We've already mentioned obviously a weekend off from the action this weekend, but is that, as you said there, the people with like Ricky being able to train, and is it a much needed respite really, bearing in mind?
I think you've seen, I think Josh mentioned it to you after the game in the media about looking forward to spending time at home and just completely relaxing. It's important the players will come back fresh, and we have a full 6 days to train, so it's not like it's going to have any effect on the game on the week Saturday. If anything, they'll come back in a tremendous, off the back of a 4-1 victory. They've not seen each other since, but they'll be coming back into here full of confidence, full of sort of expectation of what we can do. It's a real big month for us. I think if we can stay in connection with them playoffs out the back and go at the back of January, if we can really kick on February and March, we'll certainly be amongst the pack. It's always hard as a manager coming into any football club when you're disconnected from that pack, trying to change things with so many injuries. I think it's testament to the staff here and the players here that we've had so many players out, yet they can still put in performance like they have done for me. Yeah, we know maybe the Millwall one and the Peterborough game, it wasn't overly great. The other ones, I think people have seen a certain discipline to them and a certain way of playing and a certain sort of tenacity to our press. But I think the complete half of the Bristol Rovers game is what we want to see on a consistent basis, and I think that's where we want to go. And these signings have really boasted that. They all have high energy, they all can get around the pitch, they all can play, they can all handle the ball comfortably. I think I need one more in before Millwall, hopefully. We're working on very hard at the moment. It's not always great to put a time scale on things because you're there to be shot at when it doesn't happen, but I have to take responsibility if it doesn't happen, and that's under play it in, and then I will wait, and then I will try and find one more that we maybe go and splash a bit of money on, and get in trouble for saying that, won't I? But like I say, I think people have seen it's been a very productive few days, and one of hopefully that we can certainly build on. The age is we're reducing the age of the team, increasing the energy of the team, and hopefully increasing the excitement, and hopefully as much as we want to put bums on seats, I want to reverse that. I want to get bums off seats in a way where they're constantly on their feet clapping, applauding. So if our as a commercial team or our ticket offering team shouting me saying, I don't want bums on seats, I want bums off seats, and our stewards will be shouting at me as well, because I think when they're behind that goal they're on their feet and they're singing and they're applauding. I said to some of the players today, I think sometimes that when you come to play Charlton, people get a little bit, oh, we're at Charlton, and then all of a sudden when you sit off teams at Charlton they think the Valley's not that bad, but when you get at teams early on and you play the Charlton way and you're in people's faces and you're aggressive and that crowd get behind you and you can nick a goal, you can see the enthusiasm just drain out of the opposition, and we've seen that the other day, and with these signings hopefully will excite one or two people.
I guess that will probably be evident in the next home game against Millwall, won't it? I mean, it's not that far off. You know, we got a bit of revenge, haven't we? It was only a couple of weeks ago where we went there and suffered.
It's about revenge. It's about winning. And like I say, people will talk about 21 years of not being able to beat them. That has got no relevance on what happens a week Saturday. It will just be another statistic that the history books will write about. It's about being in the moment. And so putting ourselves in a moment and living it and enjoying it and then celebrating it, and then if we can do that, I'm sure it'll be a great day. But like I say, when you look at the team that played at the Den, a lot of players, there was a lot of talk obviously at the Den of them moving out of South East London. I think today about, I don't know what that'll heap anything onto the game, I'm not too sure, but what we certainly did see when we played them at their place was a very hostile atmosphere, a very traditional game that I want to be a part of consistently. And my team will look completely different. There's a possibility of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 changes maybe. 6, 7. So it's a completely different team. And that is important. That's important going into these games.
Obviously, you've already said that the players will be in on Saturday for a session. What do the next 7 days hold in store for them preparing for this game?
I'm not here tomorrow. I'm going to gather to get to a game to watch a player. And I hate not being in. It's I feel to be at this sweating all day, making sure everything's okay for tomorrow. I've got a great assistant in Richie who works hard. I know he'll get it right, and all the rest of the stuff are brilliant. It's great when you've got people like sat around the building and you know you can go and do other things. So I will get to a game. The players do a double session. They'll do another recovery day, and then we'll hit them hard Monday, Tuesday, recovery Wednesday, and then match prep leading up to a game on Saturday.
Just finally, we've said that there isn't any football this weekend, but of course there is on Sunday with the women's team, and you've already said you're coming down with your daughter.
Yeah.
You went and spoke to the players earlier this week, didn't you? What was that like?
Yeah, it was nice. We were just speaking about when you look at maybe in the men's game, everybody looks at the FA Cup as being an opportunity to rest players. Yet when you speak to the women, it's their big one. It's the one that they all look forward to, and obviously playing at the stadium gives it that sort of a little bit more of a spice to it. A lovely group of women, a really nice group of people, and it was nice just listening to some of their stories and speaking to them. And I was only there for 25 minutes, 30 minutes, but it was nice because that inclusive mentality that we have to have as a football club. If I'm going to say that, I have to live it as well. I can't just say it and then walk out the building and have any contact with anybody. That's why it was important to see them and speak to the coach and pick his brains, talking about obviously the size of the valley and how big it is, and what you have to contend with. And obviously, even though it's a big pitch, how sometimes that can be a hindrance sometimes, because if you want to press like of us, there's bigger gaps that we have to fill in. And it just seemed that they're so up for it. I think they beat Portsmouth twice this year, if my memory serves me right. They feel that one of them was 4-2, I think, that they beat them. So I think they're full of confidence. They're certainly a very confident group. It was weird when I asked any questions, they all seemed to shut up very quickly. And I don't know, everyone went very quiet, but they were really, really nice to be around. Obviously, we'll be able to see them tonight training, and I wished them luck before the game on Sunday. I know Jasmine's going to come down and watch with me. I think it's outstanding. I think it just shows you the true nature of the football club, and so many people get behind. Anybody who wears a Charlton shirt should be seen in the same light, and whether that be the women's team, the first team, the 18s, whether that even be a disability team, whatever it may be, everyone should wear our shirt with the same amount of pride and wear it and put the same amount of effort into it, regardless of the level or the age. And I think that inclusive mentality and that inclusive workmanship, you see teams now, even for Liverpool, for example, the way things have changed up there, and how everyone foresees it as a high energy, full of enthusiasm. And you see that whether you go almost their nines or whether you see whatever it may be, that inclusive, ingrained way of playing should stay constant through them all. And I certainly know that women will wear our shirt of pride on Sunday, and I'll be cheering them on like the rest of the fans will be, I'm sure.